Hello everyone and welcome to my class. In our today's session, we will learn to write a story from picture or picture story in 4 easy steps. So let's start. So let's look at the structure of a story. A story consists of introduction, plot, climax and a conclusion. In your introduction, you give a detailed description of the characters, then you have to introduce your problem statement or something that different has happened in a story, and then you have to take your story to a climax and then you have to move towards the conclusion. So let's see how we can write a story. First of all, you have to observe the picture very carefully. For example, look at this picture. You can see a character, a boy who has a bag at his back, and then he is looking at a mango tree. In the second picture, he is trying to climb up and climb at the tree, and then he is trying to pluck some mangoes. And in the last picture, as you can see that he has fallen down and another character has appeared in the story. So what are the things that you can see, what you can observe? School bag, mango trees, climbing, slipping, and then his leg has been broken or a leg has been fractured and a man has appeared, and that's it. So whenever you start observing a picture, you have to note each and every minute detail and you have to observe the characters. And there is one very important point, that whenever you start writing a story, you should use the local names. Do not, if you are living in Pakistani context, do not use the foreign names. Do not include John and other names in your story. Rather try to localize it. Similarly, if you are living in USA or if you are living in Bangladesh or any other country, try to use your own local names so that people could relate to your story. And then look at the actions that are taking place in the story. And lastly, use attributes are the adjectives. So try to use the adjectives, adverbs, and then the verbs that could highlight the actions of your story. After observing the picture in the first step and naming the people and writing about or thinking about the adjectives, adverbs and verbs that you will be including in your story, the next step is to actually start writing the story. Remember, you have to narrate the events as they are happening or as they are taking place in the picture. So you have to order your events in such a way that they go in a logical flow or in any chronological flow, so that the people may understand what story you are trying to narrate. For example, after looking at this picture, I can narrate a story like, once upon a time there lived a very poor boy in a village. His name was Ali. Ali's father was a cobbler. He was so poor that it was very difficult for him to meet both ends. Since Ali was quite an intelligent boy and he wanted to go to school, therefore his father somehow managed to get him admitted in the school. One day, when he was coming back from school, he passed by a mango's garden. Since he had not eaten anything since morning, therefore he thought about stealing some mangoes from the trees. So this is all that you have seen in the picture. So this is, you have developed the plot of your story. So let's see what happens in the story next. So this is the time where you have to actually take your story towards the climax, and then you have to move it towards a logical ending or a conclusion of your story. So you have to take your story to the climax and then you have to move back to the conclusion. So how you will start from this point, you may say, he wanted to eat some mangoes, therefore he thought about stealing some mangoes from the trees, but he was too young to climb the tree. As he was trying to climb the tree, he lost his grip and fell on the ground. He started crying with pain. Ali's knees were badly injured. A farmer who was working nearby rushed towards him to help him out. The farmer cleaned his wound and gave him something to eat. So this is how you have taken your story to a climax. Remember that whenever you are introducing a hero in your story, remember that he is a human being. Do not give him the powers of a supernatural hero. Use the adverbs, adjectives and the verbs in such a way that it seems as if you are narrating a real story. Do not exaggerate it too much. And the last point that is very important, that always try to use the transition words appropriately. Transition words are the words like however, since, moreover, and so on. These all transition words help you move from one picture or one action to the other action. So, the last point is to conclude your story. Try to maintain the interest of the audience till the end of the story and conclude your story accordingly in the same logical flow. Do not end it abruptly. Second point, very important, that try to write your story in a positive note and try to end it in the same positivity. And then try to give a moral lesson to your audience in the end. So, how can you conclude your story? You can say, Ali's knees were bleeding and his face was getting pale. The farmer gave him water to drink and mango pulp to eat. After some time, Ali was in a position to speak to this kind man. He felt ashamed of his deed, apologized the farmer, and promised not to do it ever again in his life. So this is how you can conclude your story. So keep watching my videos, keep learning, keep writing. Hope to see you in the next meeting, in the next lecture. Until then, bye bye.